Your Honor, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the expectation that I should still have my Zoom room open today? Or did the court stop giving my Zoom room information?
We wouldn't have stopped giving.
No, she needs to.
Please
Okay.
have the room open. Why do you say that?
Because I just haven't had anybody appear. So just kind of wondering if they're getting the information.
Yes, we are sending them the information, Ms. Dawson.
All right, well,
We stopped sending them the information. So I have Mr. Hernandez's form. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. All right,
I
Let
would
me
like to know if there's anybody else here who needs to speak with you.
thank you.
Yep.
$62B District Court is now in session with the Honorable Amanda Sterkenburg presiding.
The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Ernesto Hernandez, case number 21-50222OT. Sir, can you come up to the lectern, please? You are Ernesto Hernandez.
Yes, I'm not sure, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
In this matter, you are charged by the City of Kentwood with failing to report a property damage accident. That is a misdemeanor offense. It carries with it a potential penalty of up to 90 days in jail, a fine of up to $100 plus court costs. Did you have a conversation this morning with our city attorney, Ms. Danielle Dawson?
Is it a young gentleman that works here maybe?
Well, you were sent into the prosecutor's office and on the computer had a conversation with a young woman?
Exactly.
All right. And so that is Ms. Dawson. She is our city attorney. And she has let the court know that she offered to recommend a sentence that includes no jail if you plead guilty as charged to this offense. Is that what you talked to her about?
Exactly, right,
Okay. And is that the way you want to proceed today?
right.
Okay. If you tender a guilty plea, sir, and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind on this matter. Do you understand?
Exactly.
Is it your voluntary choice then to waive your right to a trial and all of the rights that go with it in order to take advantage of this no jail recommendation?
Exactly.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises?
Not at
No?
all.
Nothing to get you to plead guilty. Well then, sir, as to the offense of failing to report an accident, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, back on April 7th of this year, 2021?
I believe so.
And at that time, what did you do that makes you guilty of this charge?
Well, I never been driving over that area when this accident had happened. And so when I noticed is that every other single car besides me, they made the turn, but well, if they're doing it, why not? Why can't I? So then I made the turn, but what he didn't help me any at all is that they told me that if I didn't know that I couldn't or I wasn't able to make a turn right there. And I said, well, I didn't know no signs at all, no, nothing like that, warning, whatever, you know. So, and when I noticed it, that every other car besides me, they made a turn. So I thought, well, if they're making it, I think I might be able to do it too, you know. But then right after I made it, not so far away from there, but short time right after it, I noticed that there was I know that look, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that somebody stopped there and well, didn't say nothing at all, but then I turned around and I noticed that now, right now, they have old and then some sign that he warns out about making the wrong turn or whatever, you know. It's on the stop sign and somewhere was right where that accident happened.
Okay. Tell me about the accident.
Well, as I said, you know, I was driving around on what is it, Kalamazoo and that street's name is pretty close by, anyways. I have it in my mind, but I just can't put that out.
Okay. All right, give me just a second, sir. I want
Sure.
to look. No, you're fine. I want to look something up, though. Yeah.
Sorry, I do believe it happened on 44th Street.
44th Street.
Kalamazoo, right.
All right. Give me just a second, though.
Of
I
course,
remember when you were here before, I had questions about this.
right.
We're gonna go off the record for a minute. Ms. Dawson, are you there? Ms. Dawson, if you're available, please log back, or please turn on your camera. She's probably meeting with someone. What is the city ordinance code for failing to report an accident? I cannot find it, and it is not on this page.
They just use the state code.
Yeah, right,
257.
257, yep. So I'm just going to ask you to have a seat again for a second, okay? I need to ask the city attorney a question. Oh, it's terrible. It is absolutely impossible to find anything.
I know really it's just difficult for me because I'm not an attorney, but
Oh,
I much prefer the.
Your Honor.
hi. Can you
Hi.
tell me what the city ordinance code is for failing to report an accident?
The city ordinance code?
Well, so I have Mr. Hernandez here, and he is charged with failing to report an accident, and there's no city ordinance code. It's charged as a misdemeanor referencing 257622, the state statute,
Correct.
which requires he be the driver of the vehicle who was involved in an accident. And I remember Mr. Hernandez attempted to tender a plea at arraignment, but he was not driving the vehicle that was in the accident. And so I was unable to establish a factual basis at that time and still cannot.
That would make sense. Let me look at the, let me find the accident report here. I have the UD10. I just have to find it in my sea of UD10s that I have today.
Okay, because I do not have the accident report.
Okay, so here is the accident report. I have that he was the driver of Unit 1. Unit 1 and Unit 2 were traveling eastbound on 44th when they came to a stop at Eastern. Unit 2 and Unit 1 came to a complete stop. Unit 1 started backing up, which is the car that Mr. Hernandez was driving. Unit 2 stated that he signaled to the driver of Unit 1 to pull into the speedway at the intersection. Unit 2 pulled into the parking lot. Unit 1 did not, left the scene. Officer Wills located the vehicle, performed a traffic stop. The driver of Unit 1 stated that he thought they were all set, so he left. There were no injuries. And I have the driver of Unit 1 is Ernesto Hernandez.
All right, sir, can you come back up to the lectern? We'll go on the record here.
Would you like me to email this to you, Your Honor?
Sure. All right, we are back on the record in the matter of the City of Kentwood versus Ernesto Hernandez, case number 21-50222OT. The reason I asked you to have a seat, sir, and so that I could get Ms. Dawson is because you've described this situation to me twice now, and in each of the descriptions that you gave me, you stated there was no accident. Did you make contact with another vehicle at any time during this incident?
Well,
Did your car make contact with another car?
well, they claim, I never felt it, but they claim on me. You know,
Okay, so they claim that you made contact with the other vehicle. I'm going to refer to, well, I'm waiting for your email, Ms. Dawson.
Oh, I just sent it. Let me see.
Now, it takes a while to get through our firewall.
And it has a PDF attached to it, so it might be just a minute.
Is there a damage report of any kind?
There was no damage. That's what the, there's no injuries. Now I'm gonna pull it up again. Hold on. Okay, so there were no injuries and only minor damage to the vehicle. So I guess, let me see here. Minor damage was done to, the vehicle involved was a 2003 Trailblazer. That was the vehicle that Mr. Hernandez was driving. And he hit a 2017 Jeep Compass. But I do not have any photos of any damage.
All right, so, and I'm looking at the warrant pack code for 257-622. It says, did being the driver of a motor vehicle involved in an accident resulting in, and then you must select one, injury or death of any person, or B, total damage to all property to an apparent extent of $1,000 or more.
Well, he didn't injure anyone. There was no death. I don't know what the damage was.
I'm having a difficult time accepting his guilty plea. Can you understand why?
I do understand why. Well,
so I'm wondering if I should send him back to have another conversation with you.
I could make him a different offer of improper backing instead of fail to report. Improper backing is it's a civil infraction.
All right, perhaps that would be more appropriate. I will send him back into the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
All right, if you want to use that same invitation. Sir, here's what's happening. You were charged with a misdemeanor crime, right? A misdemeanor crime. And that's what, right. And so the court has to establish facts that you are in fact guilty of that crime if you are going to tender a plea. And the facts that you've described and the facts that I have available to me do not indicate that you committed that crime. So I'm going to have you go back and have another conversation with Ms. Dawson to see how we resolve this, because you have the right to a trial in this matter. You are innocent unless convicted by plea or by a trial, and I cannot accept your plea right now. So I know it's confusing, but the bottom line is I don't have sufficient facts to accept your guilty plea, and so perhaps Ms. Dawson needs to revise the charge. She's going to have another conversation with you. We're going to come off the record. I need, the bailiff will escort you back to the prosecutor's office so that you can have that conversation with her, okay?
Okay,
All right, thank you for your patience.
I thank you very much.
I will be waiting.
Thank you, Ben.
I did send over a Mr. Ryan Ellis. He should be logging into your Zoom shortly,
Okay,
if he has not already.
is he on 1+85G, do you think?
That sounds familiar. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Mr. Oberholzer, are you prepared to proceed on Mr. Castro?
I am, Your Honor. We will be entering a plea for Mr. Castro at this time, Your Honor.
Do we need to contact the language line?
Yes, we will, Your Honor. He does have a friend with him who's been translating, but I think we will need to contact language line for Mr. Castro. He does speak Spanish, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have Mr. Castro's pretrial conference sheet?
I do not believe so, Your Honor. I just spoke with Ms. Dawson about the offer. I'm not sure if she sent a pretrial conference sheet over yet. I just notified Ms. Dawson, though, that we would be entering a plea, basically. So perhaps she's sending that over right now.
Had her engaged in another matter. So I'm certain that you can place the offer on the record. The court is
Perfect.
calling the City of Kentwood versus Jorge Jesus Nunez Castro, case number 21-50139OD. Mr. Castro is available on Zoom today as his attorney, and I have been notified that we need to contact the language line for Spanish interpreter services. So I will get that going right now.
Your Honor, it looks like Ms. Dawson did just email the pretrial conference statement for Mr. Castro here.
I've got it.
Perfect.
For Spanish, press 1. For other, press 2. Put your access code followed by the pound sign. Please hold for an interpreter.
Thank you for calling Language Learning Solutions. This is Ivan, ID number 247771. I will be your Spanish interpreter today. This is a customer with your meeting call.
No, the customer is with me. His name is Mr. Castro. This is Judge Sterkenburg at the 62B District Court. Can you assist in Mr. Castro's entering a plea today?
Of course, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Castro, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to swear in the interpreter. Mr. Interpreter, do you swear or affirm that you will impartially interpret the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can go ahead and introduce yourself to Mr. Castro.
Buenos días, señor Castro. Voy a hacer su intérprete en esta llamada.
Sí, bueno. Bueno.
All right, this matter was set for a pretrial conference this morning. Mr. Oberholzer, I have information that there is an offer being extended.
Correct, Your Honor. The offer I did discuss with the prosecuting attorney, Ms. Danielle Dawson.
Mr. Oberholzer, remember, we have to have the interpreter say. All right, Mr. Interpreter, can you let him know that this was a pretrial conference and that the state is extending an offer?
Thank you very much. Muy bien, entonces este tema, bueno, está agendado para lo que viene siendo una audiencia preliminar y de igual manera el Estado tiene una oferta que hacer.
It's my understanding that if your client pleads guilty to the offense of operating while impaired, the city will dismiss the original operating while intoxicated offense.
Bien, muy bien, tengo entendido que el cliente se estaría declarando culpable a, bueno, operar un vehículo mientras sería un impedimento, pero de igual manera estaría desestimando el cargo de operar mientras intoxicado.
Is that the offer you discussed with your client?
¿Es la oferta que hablaron con su cliente?
It is, Your Honor. I do believe my client wishes to enter a guilty plea with regard to that offer.
Así es, su señoría. Bueno, mi cliente se estaría declarando culpable referente a esa oferta.
Mr. Castro, is that what you want to do today?
Señor Castro, ¿es lo que quiere hacer el día de hoy?
Yeah.
All right, if the court accepts your guilty plea, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Si el tribunal acepta sus alegatos de culpabilidad, señor, no va a haber algún juicio de algún tipo, ¿entiende?
Correcto.
And it is your voluntary choice to waive your trial rights to take advantage of this offer.
Y es lo que viene siendo su opción voluntaria, señor, bueno, renunciar a lo que viene siendo el juicio para aceptar lo que viene siendo esta oferta.
Está aceptando la oferta que le está dando.
Ya, correcto.
Correct.
And did anyone threaten you or make you any promises in order to get you to plead guilty today?
¿Alguien lo llegó a amenazar o le llegó a realizar alguna promesa para declararse culpable el día de hoy?
No.
All right. As to the offense of operating while impaired, a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and up to $300 in fines, how do you plead?
Muy bien, entonces, bueno, la ofensa para manejar mientras está impedido, bueno, es un delito menor, lo cual podría conllevar hasta 93 días de cárcel o lo que viene siendo una multa de $300. Dígame, ¿cómo se declara?
Pagar o 90 días.
Pagar.
Okay.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
¿Se declara culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Sir, were you driving a car in the city of Kentwood back on February 27th of this year?
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm really sorry for interrupting. This is the interpreter
Yeah.
speaking. I apologize for taking a for do you mind repeating that statement, please? I do apologize.
Estaba manejando ahí en Cancún.
Sure. I'm asking Mr. Castro if he was driving a car in the city of Kentwood back on February 27th of this year.
En el 27.
Señor Castro, estaba usted conduciendo en la ciudad de Campwood en el mes de febrero de 17 de febrero de este año.
Correcto.
Correcto.
Before you drove the car, did you drink beer, liquor, or some other substance that made you intoxicated?
Antes de usted conducir el vehículo, ¿bebió usted cerveza, licor o alguna otra cosa que lo hizo estar intoxicado?
Tomé antes de manejar en un cumpleaños de mi hermano, la sobrina de mi hermano.
I drank before driving. This was at a birthday party for my brother's niece.
Okay, and did drinking impair your ability to drive the vehicle?
Y el tomar, bueno, ocasionó el impedimento para que usted conduciera el vehículo.
Como si estaba pedo para manejar.
No.
No.
Tell me about how you got pulled over.
Dígame cómo es que lo
¿Cómo lo detuvieron?
Oh, sí, me detuvieron por, no sé, de repente el policía salió, yo iba manejando en Kenwood y me dijo que no me servía una luz, fue todo.
Well, I don't know. The cops came all of a sudden. They went ahead and pulled me over at Sterkenburg. The police officer mentioned that one of my lights was not working.
Okay. And did you do any kind of tests on the side of the road with the police officer?
Le realizaron algún tipo de prueba en el costado de la carretera con el oficial.
Pruebas con el policía.
Correcto.
Correct.
Mr. Oberholzer, was there a blood test in this matter?
There was a data master test performed on this matter, Your Honor, and I'm referencing an OD80, State of Michigan report, Your Honor, which does indicate Mr. Castro blew a .14 2 times on that data master test, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm really sorry. My call disconnected there for a moment. Do you guys mind repeating that statement? I really apologize for this inconvenience.
That's fine. Could you advise Mr. Castro that there is a report that his blood alcohol content was 0.14, which is over the legal limit?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Muy bien, señor Castro. Entonces hay un reporte, bueno, donde lo que viene siendo la prueba de alcoholímetro salió en .14, lo que es encima del límite legal.
1.4 más de alcohol.
Oh, okay,
Normal.
okay.
Mr. Castro, do you have any reason to believe that that test is incorrect?
Señor Castro, ¿tiene usted alguna razón para creer que esta prueba es incorrecta?
No, estuvo bien.
No, it was okay.
All right, I do find there is a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea.
Es que no oigo bien, por eso que me ayudes.
Para aceptar su alegato de culpabilidad.
Sí se lo van a dejar.
Si me quedo culpable.
Que sí se lo van a dejar como.
Oh, okay, okay.
Before I sentence you, I need to know more about you and your relationship to alcohol.
Muy bien, entonces antes de que lo sentencien, señor, más detalles de
Okay,
Como toma.
I
okay.
want you to have a substance abuse assessment done.
I'm really sorry, Your Honor, there was some background noise.
I want you to have a substance abuse assessment done.
Quiero que le realicen una evaluación para abuso de sustancias.
Okay, okay. Está bien.
And so the court or your attorney will reach out to you with information on how to do that and when to come back.
Muy bien, de igual manera, lo que viene con el tribunal, con su abogado, ustedes estarían comunicando con usted para darle información en cómo hacer eso y de igual manera cuándo regresar.
Okay, correcto.
Is your address 646 Montebello Street?
Es, no, es 46. 46.
46, that's 46.
46 Montebello?
Ya,
46 de la calle Montebello?
ya.
Yes.
Okay, what is your phone number?
Número de teléfono, por favor.
Es 616 514 7368.
616-514.
Thank you. You are all set for today, sir. We will get information to you on your substance abuse assessment.
Muy bien, señor, entonces sería todo por el día de hoy. Señor, le vamos a llegar información acerca de lo que viene siendo el abuso de sustancias.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you.
Any further instructions for the interpreter, Your Honor?
No, that's all. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Thank you for your dinner services that result of the day. Goodbye.
All right, the court is calling the case of the city of Kentwood versus Ryan Douglas Ellis. Case number 17-509800OT. You are Mr. Ellis?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ellis, your matter was set for a pretrial conference today. I'm looking back through this file, and it's a 17 file, which means there was a time or two that you failed to report here, failed to appear previously before my predecessor, and now It's come to me. It looks like even on April 21st, we attempted to take a guilty plea, but for whatever reason, we did not. You met with the city attorney this morning. You're charged with operating a vehicle while your driver's license was suspended, revoked, or denied. And apparently, you were able to get your license back. And so the city is willing to reduce that charge to the civil infraction of impeding traffic. Is that what you talked to Ms. Dawson about?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that the way you want to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you tender a guilty plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your voluntary choice then to waive your rights to a trial and all rights that go along with it to take advantage of this bargain?
Yes.
And did anyone threaten you or make you any promises in order to get you to plead guilty?
No.
All right. As to the offense of impeding traffic, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. Sir, were you driving a vehicle, if you can remember, in the city of Kentwood back on November 6th of 2017?
Yes.
And at that time, was your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes.
All right. I find there is a sufficient factual basis to accept your responsibility for the civil infraction of impeding traffic. I will assess fines and costs in this matter of $240. I'll move you into a breakout room with my cashier right now, Mr. Ellis, so you can make payment or payment arrangements. Do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck, sir. Congratulations on getting your license.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yep. Bye.
All right. What is your name, ma'am? Well, whoever is here for court. Say again. Faith Spikes Cole. Yeah, I see that. But on the docket, I only see a ticket. Oh, wait, here's their other case. I see it. The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Faith Spikes Cole, case number 21-501970T. Come up to the lectern, ma'am. You are Faith Spikes Cole. All right. The City of Kentwood alleges that on or around March 23rd of this year in the City of Kentwood, you operated a vehicle while unlicensed, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of $100 plus court cost. You were arraigned on this matter back in March, and then you were given a date to appear. You did not appear. You've been ordered to show cause why the court should not, well, then you were picked up again, I think, and then bonded. And tell me why you didn't show up.
I did so before. I did court online and I never went to jail.
Well,
I'm back now, Your Honor.
oh, welcome back, Ms. Dawson. Give me just a moment. You know what, ma'am? You are right, because I'm looking at this bond slip that's in your file, and it's not you. It's for a different person named Terrell Teal, who is not you. Okay. I can only go with what information I have at hand, and that's not you. Right, so you did fail to appear, that I have. You failed to appear on April 21st, but you weren't picked up on it then, and you're here now. So we didn't order to show cause. You're saying you were here on April 21st?
I did, we're at home on Zoom.
On April 21st? Are you in the ROA, Miss Lindsay? And it says on the 21st that she failed to appear?
So she failed to appear, so we did order to show cause for today.
Did I speak to you?
I was a witness. That's my mom.
No, I don't think that we need to, I don't think that we need to go back and track that, ma'am. I have no reason to disbelieve you, and you're here. There wasn't a bench warrant entered. The bottom line is we need to resolve this matter. And so we'll treat today's date like a pretrial, and I will withhold any ruling of contempt. You entered a not guilty plea when you were arraigned back in March on this matter. You were not given court-appointed counsel, and so you need to speak with Miss Dawson. Let me verify this first, though. Ma'am, is your address 3320 Pheasant Ridge? Okay. All right, Miss Dawson is on the phone, but she will be available shortly to speak with you regarding this matter and any offer that might be extended by the city. I'm going to have you actually go out and meet with her in the prosecutor's office. My bailiff will show you. And then she'll appear via Zoom on the laptop there, and you can have a conversation with her, okay? All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say that nice to meet you. Judge Kelly was our judge for years, and he would call us by the scale.
Okay.
I miss him so much. He was such a fun judge.
He was. He was. Well, it's nice to meet you as well. All right. I don't have any new files. Ladies, are you together? All right, in the front, what is your name, ma'am?
Brittany,
What is your last name?
B,
All right, you are here for a pretrial conference. You do not have an attorney. You need to meet with Miss Dawson. And so I'll have you go out into the lobby and wait. The young woman who was just here, she's going to meet with her in the prosecutor's office. And when she's done, it will be your turn. Okay? And your name, ma'am? Ariana what? All right, she's here on an order to show cause also. All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Ariana Marie Fox, case number 21-50211OT. Come up to the lectern, ma'am. All right, ma'am, you were ordered to appear in person today and show cause why the court should not hold you in contempt for failing to appear before this court on April 21st for a pretrial conference. Why weren't you here?
because I was committed to kindness. I was in a very abusive relationship and I managed to get away. And I admitted myself to kindness. I was in there for 2 weeks. And honestly now I'm just trying to get everything situated.
Try to graduate? Are you in high school?
No, right now I'm in college. I'm still in my courses right now. I'm going to become a veterinarian.
You're going to become a what?
A veterinarian.
A veterinarian. Okay. All right, well, I will accept that as good cause for failing to appear. And we will conduct a pretrial conference in this matter. You're charged with the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied. You pled not guilty when you were arraigned back at the beginning of April. And so I will need to have you meet with Ms. Dawson. And so you will be third in line then if you'll go back out into the lobby and just have a seat. There's a young lady meeting with her now. There's somebody in front of you, and then it will be your turn, okay? Thank you. Ms. Dawson, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going to send you a chat letting you know you have 3 people here in person to meet with you via Zoom. I'm sending them into our prosecutor's office. Thank you. The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Yahir Hernandez Zarate, case number 21-50227OT. Sir, you are, is it pronounced Yahir?
Yes.
Hernandez Zarate?
Yes.
Good morning. And Mr. Hernandez Zarate appears with his attorney, Kurt Overholzer. This matter was scheduled for a pretrial conference this morning. I do not know if I have a pretrial conference statement. I think I have 2 people with the last name Hernandez, and I do. So, Mr. Overholzer, is there an offer being extended in this matter?
There is, Your Honor. I did discuss this case with City of Kentwood Prosecuting Attorney Ms. Danielle Dawson, and the offer that we discussed is as follows, Your Honor. If Mr. Hernandez Zarate were to plead guilty or accept responsibility to a civil infraction impeding traffic, the City of Kentwood Prosecuting Attorney would be comfortable or would agree to a dismissal of the drove while unlicensed criminal misdemeanor, as well as the failure to yield civil infraction that was charged as well, Your Honor. And I have had an opportunity to discuss that offer with my client, and I do believe he wishes to offer a guilty plea with regards to the reduced charge of impeding traffic, Your Honor. Also, furthermore, Your Honor, my client and I also discussed his trial rights, specifically that if he is to offer a guilty plea with regard to this offer, that he would be forever giving up and waiving his trial rights, understanding that he wouldn't be able to take the original drove while unlicensed charge to trial, Your Honor. And again, with that knowledge, I believe my client wishes to offer a guilty plea.
Sir, is that what you want to do today?
Yes, that's
All right. Impeding traffic is a civil infraction. It is punishable with fines. And if you tender a guilty plea and I accept it today, there will not be a trial of any kind. Your attorney indicated he discussed that with you. Do you understand that you're waiving all of your trial rights?
Yeah.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond this plea bargain in order to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
As to the offense of impeding traffic, how do you plead?
Yeah.
All right, sir, were you driving a vehicle in the City of Kentwood, County of Kent, back on April 8th of this year?
Yeah.
At that time, did you have a license?
No.
Well, I find that's a sufficient factual basis to accept your plea to impeding traffic. What is the status of your license now?
I have an appointment to get my license.
All right, are you all through driver's training and do you have a permit? What? No.
So right now, Your Honor, my client, he does have an appointment with Secretary of State to take his written test, Your Honor. Secretary of State, unfortunately, the backup seems to be increasing. My client wasn't able to get an appointment to take that written test until September of this year. So he's looking forward to that, but that was the earliest appointment he was able to get, and I did discuss that with Ms. Dawson. And based on that, she was still comfortable with offering the offer we discussed.
That is so unfortunate. The Secretary of State backup is a source of constant frustration to everyone in the justice system. So, but mark the date on your calendar. Don't miss it. Those are precious appointments. I will assess fines and costs in this matter that total $440. You can stop at the clerk's station on your way out in order to make payment or payment arrangements. Do you have any questions for me? All right, you may have to wait a minute at the clerk station because I don't have a clerk entering data in real time right now. So this is going to have to make its way to her to get into our system first. But I wish you all the best. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Dawson, are you aware that you have people waiting for you here? I did send you a chat, but I haven't touched base with you.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Who would you like me to meet with first?
Well, I have them in line. I sent you a chat. First is Spikes Cole, then Bean, then Fox, and last, La Paula Lewis.
Oh my, okay. So let me find those files. You have a couple of people coming to enter, please. You have a Ms. Jalaisha Willis and Mr. Eric Kozert.
I saw those come into my email, so good.
They should be logging into Zoom momentarily.
All right, Ms. Willis is in my waiting room. Almost all of the ladies who are here were here on orders to show cause. Oh, and you know what? I misspoke. You can take Ms. Bean off your list. I had her go on the record with me. I released her from this date because you were not yet available, and she had a 10:50 appointment at the Secretary of State's office.
Oh yeah, she should go to that then.
Yes, yes, they are as precious as gold. So
Yeah.
I said we'd send her a new date.
Yep, perfect. I thought Spikes Cole was represented by Kurt.
I do not have that information. It's a drove while unlicensed charge. My file does not reflect that I appointed Kurt on this matter. There was another woman with her, and I don't know who that person is, but she said hello to me, and that was nice to meet me, and that Judge Kelly had been their judge for years. And so perhaps there are more Spikes Coles in the system.
I have KCOD, but yeah, I guess.
On 50197?
Yeah.
I don't have it in my register of actions. I don't have an application here. I wouldn't have appointed attorney on this matter.
Well, I'm happy to meet with her then.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
The person with her was her mother.
Okay.
That's what she had said.
We are, okay. So you're gonna send over another nollie, or is this gonna count as the nollie for Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. Jackson. Yes, could you please stop walking?
Okay, what's going on now?
Sir, you're here for a pretrial conference. You are represented by Mr. Overholzer. Have you spoken with him this morning?
I haven't spoke with nobody. I was sitting in a room for the last like 40 minutes and I called up to the courthouse because I have not been let into any room, and like I have to bring my girlfriend to work. So like I'm trying to call to speed this up or see what's going on without trying to get a warrant out. So like,
Well, you have an attorney, and so he is here and can speak with you. I would assume then, Mr. Overholzer, that he was potentially waiting in Ms. Dawson's Zoom room. He has not been waiting in this one.
I believe that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Jackson, what I can do is I can put you in a breakout room with your attorney right now so that you can have a conversation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Willis and are you Mr. Kozart?
Kozart, yes.
Kozart?
Yep.
All right. I'll be with each of you momentarily.
Okay.
Willis and Kozart. All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Jaleisha Ruby Marie Willis, case number 21-50228OT. You are Jaleisha Willis?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Ms. Willis appears via Zoom technology. She does not have counsel. This matter was scheduled for a pretrial conference on the offense of driving while unlicensed and the civil infraction of violating basic speed law, going too fast for conditions. The city has offered to allow your plea to 2 counts of impeding traffic, which is a civil infraction. So there would be 2 pleas, 2 counts of impeding traffic. And in exchange, they will dismiss the misdemeanor drove while unlicensed and the violation of basic speed law, which is a civil infraction that they would be dismissing. The distinction then is there are no points on your license for that offense. Is that the offer you discussed with Ms. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
The way that you would like to proceed today?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Is that the way you would like to proceed today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you tender pleas today and the court accepts your plea, there will not be a trial of any kind and you will forever waive your right to have a trial on the original drove while unlicensed charge. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your voluntary choice then to waive your trial rights and all rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this bargain?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises other than what was contained in the plea bargain to get you to enter these pleas today?
No, ma'am.
All right, then as to the offense of impeding traffic, are you taking responsibility for 2 instances of impeding traffic?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Ma'am, are you accepting responsibility, that is entering a plea of responsible or guilty to 2 distinct counts of impeding traffic?
Yes.
All right, were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood on April 8th of this year?
Yes.
At that time, did you have a valid driver's license?
No, ma'am.
And at that time, then, were you engaged in some kind of driving conduct that was too fast for conditions?
Not that I'm aware of, but what I was told, yes, but me, no. Like,
so what happened?
Oh, okay. So for starters, it was raining. 10 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour. In the midst of me trying to turn to the right, the car got to jerking with the road and the rain not connecting for me to stop, which caused me to swerve a little bit to the right and hit the vehicle that I was present in front of.
Okay. I do find that that is a sufficient factual basis to accept your responsibility for these 2 counts of impeding traffic. Ma'am, on each of these, I will assess fines in the amount of $240. I'm going to place you into a breakout room with my cashier so you can make payment or payment arrangements.
Okay.
All right, the court is calling the case of the city of Kentwood versus Eric Kozert, case number 21-50134OT. You are Eric Kozert?
Yeah, Cozart. Yep.
Kozart, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
All right, good morning, sir. This
Good
matter
morning.
is set for a pretrial conference with the city attorney On the allegation that you were driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood with your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied. I have been provided information from the city attorney that says in exchange for your voluntary plea to the civil infraction of impeding traffic, they will dismiss that misdemeanor charge. Is that what you discussed with Ms. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the way you want to proceed today?
Yes, ma'am.
If you tender a plea and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Are you voluntarily waiving your trial rights and all rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this bargain?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond what was stated in terms of the plea bargain in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
And as to the offense of impeding traffic, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood back on February 26th of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, was your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. I will assess fines and costs in this matter.
Okay.
They total $240.
Okay.
I'll place you into a breakout room right now with my cashier so you can make payment or payment arrangements. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you, sir. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, the court is calling the case of the city of Kentwood versus Faith Spikes Cole, case number 21-50197OT. Ma'am, come on up to the lectern. You are Faith Spikes Cole. All right, this matter was set for a pretrial conference today. I have received information that all right, let's see. In exchange for your voluntary plea to the civil infraction of impeding traffic, the city will dismiss the misdemeanor drove while unlicensed.
2 impedings, Your Honor.
Well, you didn't write 2 impedings. You wrote out 2. I'm interpreting your statement here. And also they will reduce the fail to yield civil infraction to impeding traffic. Is that what you discussed with Ms. Dawson? And is that the way you want to proceed today? All right. Ms. Dawson, do you need anything else from me?
Nope, just checking in.
All right, thank you. All right, ma'am, if you tender guilty pleas today and the court accepts your pleas, there will not be a trial of any kind. Are you voluntarily waiving your right to a trial and all rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this bargain? All right, did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond what's stated in terms of the plea bargain to get you to plead guilty? Then, ma'am, as to 2 distinct infractions, each impeding traffic, how do you plead? All right. Were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, back on March 23rd? All right. At that time, did you have a valid license? All right. What was the situation where they said you failed to yield the right of way?
I was at the turn lane and I had the yellow arrow was blinking and then I had turned. And then as I was turning, another vehicle had crashed into me.
Oh. All right, I do find there is a sufficient factual basis and will find you responsible for these 2 counts of impeding traffic. I will assess fines and costs. All told, it's $480. And I'll have you stop at the counter on the way out to make payment or payment arrangements. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Yes, you may.
So officer,
You are Ariana Fox? All right, and did you have a conversation just now with the city attorney, Ms. Danielle Dawson? All right, the city alleges that on April 1st of this year in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, you were operating a vehicle while your driver's license was suspended, revoked, or denied. It looks like the city is willing to reduce that misdemeanor offense to the civil infraction of impeding traffic in exchange for your voluntary guilty plea. Is that what you discussed with Ms. Dawson?
Yes.
And is that the way you want to proceed today? If you tender a plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Are you voluntarily giving up your right to trial and all rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this bargain? Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond what was contained in the plea bargain? All right, ma'am. As to the offense of impeding traffic, how do you plead? Ma'am, back on April 1st of this year, were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood?
Yes.
And at that time, was your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes.
All right. I do find there is a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. I will find you guilty. Accept your responsibility and assess fines and costs in the amount of $240.
And I have another question for you, sir. When I got pulled over because I didn't have my license, they took my plate, and the car that I was driving was my mother's, and it's her plate, so is there any way to get it back? Or-
You know, that's a Secretary of State question, but I think the answer is no. I think once we, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, but once we resolve this, the license plate, she can apply for a new one.
Candace said that the tags were withheld until I had seen it.
So, right, so after we, so we've adjudicated this today, right? And so at this point, we'll give you paperwork that you take to the Secretary of State to get a new plate.
Okay.
Okay?
And she'll have to get a whole new license plate.
Yeah, you'll have to get a whole new
Where do I
license.
get the paperwork?
So you can stop at the clerk, right? And you're gonna make a payment and then they'll provide you with that.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
you're welcome. Have a nice day.
Specialized.
Miss Hill, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, ma'am. Have you met with the city attorney, Ms. Danielle Dawson, this morning?
No, I have not met with her yet this morning.
Okay. So you're scheduled for a pretrial and you don't have counsel. You'll need to have a conversation with Miss Dawson before I see you. She's here. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to move you into a breakout room so you can have that conversation with her. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Miss Dawson, I think you can use the same invitation. You can just go. There's nobody else in the prosecutor's office right now. So
Will that work? Prosecutor's office?
it should work.
We'll try it.
Ms. Dawson, you met with Dan Watkins, correct?
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Hill, give me just a moment. Ms. Dawson, you met with Dan Watkins, correct? This is Hill. Yeah. I don't know. He's not in my waiting room. Miss Dawson. She acts as though she can't hear me. I'm not muted. Well, I will send Miss Dawson a chat requesting information on whether or not Mr. Watkins' client is going to join us. All right, Miss Hill.
Yes.
All right, can you turn your video on, ma'am?
I'll try. I tried earlier and it wouldn't let me. It just was like, unmute your mic.
Here. I'm sending you a request to start your video.
All right, give me 1 second.
Your Honor, do you need me?
I can hear you. I was speaking to you just a few minutes ago and it was almost like you couldn't hear me.
I could not hear you. I can hear you now.
That's so strange because I'm not muted. So anyway, what I was asking you was only if you spoke with Attorney Watkins this morning?
I did.
All right, and the plea sheets we got, they indicate set for a separate plea date. Is that what he told you he wanted to do?
Correct. He's working from home today and is unable to meet with his clients today, so he wanted to have a new date set.
Okay, that's fine, and that's how I interpreted it, so that is what we will do.
Okay, perfect.
I have someone named Bowie Kung coming into my Zoom room.
I have informed Mr. Chong he needs to speak to Kurt.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Kung? Mr. Overholtzer, are you available?
Yes, I am. I just wanted to briefly talk with Ms. Dawson, and then I would be available, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Kung, your attorney is Mr. Oberholzer, and so in just a moment, I'm going to place you in a breakout room so you can have a conversation with him about your matter. But first, Mr. Oberholzer needs to meet with Ms. Dawson. So let's do this. I will move Ms. Dawson into your office, Mr. Oberholzer.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Tamira Deshay Hill, case number 20-502830T. You are Ms. Hill?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Hill, you are not represented by counsel. You are before the court on a charge that you were operating a vehicle while your driver's license was suspended, revoked, or denied. You met with the city attorney this morning, correct?
Yes.
All right, and the information I have indicates that in exchange for your voluntary plea to the lesser included offense of impeding traffic, that is a civil infraction, the city will dismiss the driving with your license suspended misdemeanor. Is that what you discussed with Ms. Dawson?
Yes.
Is that the way you want to proceed today?
Yes.
All right. If you tender a plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Are you voluntarily waiving your right to a trial and all the rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this bargain?
Yes.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond the plea bargain to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
All right. As to the offense of impeding traffic, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, ma'am. Were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood County of Kent, back on July 31st of 2020. Was that a yes?
Yes.
All right, and at that time, was your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes. They were suspended.
All right, I do find a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. I will assess fines and costs in this matter. They total $240. I'm going to place you into a breakout room right now with my cashier so you can make payment or payment arrangements.
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Kung, when your attorney is available, I'll move you into a breakout room with him.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you.
Yes. Ms. Hill, if you look on your screen, there should be an invitation for you to join a breakout room. You'll need to select that and then you'll be moved in to meet with my cashier. You should already have it. So if there are 3 dots on your screen, select that button. Maybe it says more, and then there'll be a breakout room option.
I actually don't see that.
Do you see either the words breakout room or 3 little dots on your phone?
I see.
Ms. Dawson?
Yeah.
I'm gonna move you back into the prosecutor's office because I have in person here one Keisha Austin.
Great.
And Mr. Overholzer, I will be moving Mr. Kung in with you right now.
62, the district court is now in session with the Honorable Amanda Sterkenburg presiding.
Good morning. What is your name, sir? I'll have to have you unmute.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Ezekiel Galena.
All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Ezekiel Galena Antonio, case number 21-502350T. You are Ezekiel Galena, and you are not represented by counsel this morning, correct?
Yeah.
All right. This matter was scheduled for a pretrial conference. The court has been provided information that the offer being extended by the city is to recommend no jail time at sentencing in exchange for your voluntary plea as charged to violating the provisions of a restricted license. Is that the offer you spoke to Ms. Dawson about?
Yeah.
And is that the way you want to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that is a misdemeanor and is punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100 plus court cost. If you tender a plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you voluntarily waiving your right to a trial and all of the rights that go along with it in order to take advantage of this sentencing recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond what was discussed as the plea bargain to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
And as to the offense of violating the provisions of your restricted license, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Were you driving a car in the city of Kentwood, County of Kent, back on April 14th at 2021?
Yes, Your Honor.
April 14th of this year, were you driving a car in the city of Kentwood?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I can't hear what you're saying. It's very faint. I wonder if you accidentally hit the volume on your device. I see you shaking your head, but we can't record that for purposes of a transcript.
Oh.
There, that's much better. Yes.
Oh.
So you said
Okay.
yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at that time, what did you do that was in violation of the provisions of your restricted license?
I had got back from work and I decided to wait for the car wash to open up so I could wash my car because it's been dirty for a while since I can't go nowhere. So I decided to go real quick since it's around the corner. But I ended up getting stopped by the police.
So you were only supposed to go to and from work, but then you the car wash.
Yeah, but the only car I used to go to work is like dirty, so it's like I decided to clean it that one day, but I got stopped.
All right. Sir, is there anything else that you would like? I do find a sufficient factual basis and I will find you guilty of this misdemeanor offense. Is there anything you would like me to consider before I impose sentence?
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize for breaking the rules and driving while I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, they'll get you. They'll get you.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
serious about those restrictions, sir. I will assess fines and costs only in this matter. They total $240. I'm going to place you into a breakout room with my cashier. You can make payment or payment arrangement with her.
Okay.
All right, you should have an invitation on your device there to join the cashier's breakout room.
Okay.
What is your name, sir? Bryant Langdon. All right, you are represented by Mr. Overholzer. Have you spoken with him today? All right, I'll need to have you go back out into the lobby, and when Mr. Overholzer is free, he will come and meet with you. I do not see that he is still in my Zoom room. It looks like he's meeting with another client at this time, so if you'll wait in the lobby, when he's done, he'll come and get you.
4, autocorrect 2. Please enter access code followed by the pound sign. Please hold for an interpreter.
No, we don't hear anything, but it still says connected and active. We'll give it another minute or so and then we'll redial if we can't get through. Ezekiel,
Yes, Your Honor.
were you able to meet with my cashier?
Yeah.
All right, then you're free to go.
Oh, okay, Your Honor. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, Mr. Oberholzer, I think we're lost, and so I will hang up. I will disconnect with the language line and try once more.
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome to Language Line Solutions. Please enter your 6-digit PIN. For Spanish, press 1. For other, please enter access code followed by the pound sign. Please hold for an interpreter.
Thank you for calling Nine Cutting Solutions. This is Melissa. ID number is 225-446, and I will be your Spanish interpreter. Is your customer with you?
Yes, Madam Interpreter, I do have the customer with me. Her name is Miss Ramirez. She is here with me. This is Judge Sterkenburg at the 62B District Court. She needs assistance in entering a guilty plea. Can you assist?
Yes, Your Honor, of course.
All right, before we begin, do you swear or affirm that you will impartially interpret the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can introduce yourself to Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you, señora Ramírez. Yo voy a hacer su intérprete el día de hoy.
I think you'll need to come up closer to the microphone.
Creo que va a tener que acercarse un poco más al micrófono.
Madam Interpreter, are you able to hear her?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Ramirez is before the court on a criminal misdemeanor offense.
La señora Ramírez se encuentra aquí ante la corte ante lo que es un delito criminal menor.
She is charged with driving a vehicle while unlicensed, a crime punishable by up to 90 days in jail and fines and costs.
Tiene el cargo de manejar un vehículo sin licencia, el cual puede conllevar hasta un cargo de 90 días de cárcel con una multa y costo.
There was a pretrial conference conducted today, and the city is offering to make a sentencing recommendation.
Hubo lo que es un juicio, un prejuicio el día de hoy que fue conducido. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat the offering?
Well, the offer is that if she pleads guilty as charged, they will recommend no jail time at sentencing and fines and costs only.
Se le está ofreciendo en lo que fue el prejuicio, se le ofreció que si usted se declara como culpable, no le darían tiempo en la cárcel y solamente lo que es la multa y los costos.
Yes, I do plead guilty.
All right, ma'am. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea, there will not be a trial of any kind?
Señora, usted entiende que si yo acepto su declaración como culpable, no habría ningún juicio de ninguna forma. Yes.
Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises beyond this sentencing recommendation in order to get you to plead guilty?
¿Alguien la amenazó o, I'm sorry, Your Honor, did anyone threaten you or?
Make you any promises?
Hello?
Threaten her or make her any, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I wasn't able to hear you, kind of cut off for a little bit. Can you please repeat?
Yes. Did anyone threaten her or make her any promises beyond the sentencing recommendation in order to get her to plead guilty?
¿Alguien la amenazó o le hizo algunas promesas aparte de lo que es la recomendación de sentencia para que se declarara como culpable? What do you mean if someone threatened me?
Well, I'm trying to make sure that you are pleading guilty voluntarily and of your own free will.
Estoy tratando de asegurarme de que usted esté declarándose como culpable voluntariamente y con, de su propia libertad. Voluntarily, I am saying guilty.
All right. Ma'am, were you driving a car in the city of Kentwood back on March 29th of this year?
Señora, ¿está usted manejando un automóvil en la ciudad de Sterkenburg en el 29 de marzo de este año? Yes.
And at that time, did you have a valid Michigan driver's license?
En ese tiempo, ¿tenía usted una licencia válida de Michigan? No.
Or did you find a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea?
Sí encuentro lo que son los hechos suficientes para encontrar, para tomar lo que es su declaración como culpable.
Mr. Oberholzer, what would you like me to consider before I impose sentence?
Señor José, ¿qué le gustaría que considere antes de que imponga la sentencia?
Your Honor, thank you very much. Ms. Ramirez is quite a ways off from being able to secure a valid driver's license. She still needs to do a lot to be able to acquire that. And so
la señora Ramírez aún necesita asegurar obtener lo que es una licencia válida. Todavía necesita hacer mucho para poder alcanzar eso.
nonetheless, Ms. Ramirez wishes to accept responsibility for this case and get it behind her, Your Honor. And so with that, I would just ask the court to consider assessing Ms. Ramirez's fines and costs as was negotiated as part of the plea agreement, Your Honor.
Aceptan, aparte de eso, la señora Ramírez acepta su responsabilidad y quiere dejarlo atrás. Entonces le pido a la corte que por favor considere lo que es asesorar a la señora Ramírez con sus multas y costos. Como le fue ofrecido.
All right, Ms. Ramirez, is there anything that you want to say to me before I impose sentence?
Señora Ramírez, ¿algo que me quiera decir a mí antes de que yo imponga la sentencia? Hasta el momento, no.
All right, ma'am, I will go along with the sentencing recommendation in this matter.
Señora, voy a hacer lo que es la recomendación de sentencia en este caso.
You are to pay fines and costs that total $525.
va a pagar lo que son multas y costos, que hacen un total de $525. Okay, that's fine.
This is the final sentence of the court. If you disagree with the court's decision, you can appeal it.
Esta es la sentencia final de la corte. Si usted está en desacuerdo con la sentencia, usted puede apelar.
You have 21 days to appeal this to the circuit court and 14 to request an attorney to assist you.
Tiene usted 21 días para apelar hacia la corte del circuito y 14 días para pedir lo que es un abogado.
I'm going to have you stop at the counter on your way out to make payment or payment arrangements.
Le voy a pedir que por favor se detenga aquí en el mostrador antes de salir para que haga su pago o arreglo de pago.
Disculpe una pregunta, que si puedo pagar la multa en los pagos, por el momento no traigo alguna cantidad, nada más traigo $300, pero por el siguiente lo voy a pagar.
I'm sorry, one question. Can I make this in 2 payments? I don't have enough money right now to make all of it, but I only have $200 right now, but I can make that payment and then next time the other amount.
Yes, that's fine. Make your $200 payment today and make arrangements with my clerk to make the rest of the payments.
Sí, eso está bien. Puede hacer su pago de los $200 el día de hoy y haga arreglos de pago con el secretario de la corte para hacer el resto del pago. Okay, that would be fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ya se puede ir. Okay, thank you.
Madam,
Anything else that I can help you with today, Your Honor?
no, that is all, ma'am. Thank you for your assistance.
Thank you for using our services, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kung, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is the City of Kentwood versus Bowie Kung. Case number 21-502160T. Mr. Bowie Kung is present on Zoom, and I have been notified that we need a Burmese interpreter, so I'm going to call the language line at this time.
Welcome to the Language Line Solutions. Please enter your 6-digit client ID. Your client ID is inactive. Please call again within the next week or contact customer service. Please enter your 6-digit client ID. For Spanish, press 1. For other, press 2. Please state the name of the desired language.
Burmese.
I understood. Kurdish. If this is correct, say yes or press 1. If it is incorrect, please state the name of the desired language.
Burmese.
I understood. Burmese. If this is correct, say yes or press 1. If this, please enter access code followed by pound sign. Please hold and interpreter.
Thank you for calling Leverage Line Solutions. This is Jane with ID 207794, and this is for Burmese. Thank you. Is gentlemen ready?
Yes, this is Judge Sterkenburg at the 62B District Court. I have a defendant on a misdemeanor charge who needs to enter a plea. Can you assist?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, before we begin, do you swear or affirm that you will impartially interpret the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God? All right, the defendant's name is Mr. Kung, and I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Alright, thank you. 카스터스랑 대박 도망가는 게
Mr. Kung, can you unmute yourself? Can you introduce yourself again and make sure he can hear and understand you?
Okay, tay mà chia nhau đã mẹ nó nên biết chia luôn rồi.
Yeah, Madam Interpreter, there's static on your line quite a bit when you speak. I don't know if you're able to, if you are wearing a headset, if you can adjust it or something.
It's a headset, but with a computer. So I'm not sure what I can.
All right, you're not wearing a headset?
I'm wearing a headset.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Oberholzer, do you think that's better?
Interpreter, could you just try to speak one more time and see if it's clearer?
Oh, okay. So,
Mr. Kung, do you understand what she's saying?
Okay, chia rồi.
Okay. Yes, I hear it.
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry, ma'am. I think we're going to have to disconnect and try to reach a different interpreter. There's too much static on your line.
So, do you want me to get it from my I explain for you? I'm going to get help from the agent.
Yes, could you get us another agent?
Yes, I'm going to connect with the agent. Hold on, please.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Carlos, customer agent. I understand that you need a Burmese interpreter.
Yes, we do. We had one, but the connection was very staticky and we could not understand her.
Oh, no worries. I'll stay on the line with you to assure a good communication with the next interpreter.
Thank you.
Please hold. Interpreter.
Hello, thank you for calling Language Lab Solutions. This is Charles, ID 109185. I need your birth.
All right, Mr. Interpreter, this is Judge Sterkenburg at the 62B District Court. I have a defendant here who needs assistance in entering a guilty plea. Can you assist?
Yes.
All right. Before we begin, do you swear or affirm that you will impartially interpret the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God?
Yes, help me God, yes.
All right, the defendant's name is Mr. Kung. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
All right, this matter is before the court for a pretrial conference. Mr. Kung is charged with the misdemeanor crime of failing to stop at an accident, otherwise known as hit and run.
ဒီကိစ္စကဒီ misdemeanor ရဲ့စိတ်နဲ့စိတ်ကတစ်ခုဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါကတော့ဒီတိုင်းဖြစ်တဲ့အချိန်မှာကားကိုရတဲ့ပေါင်းသွားတယ်။အဲ့ဒါကိုတခါဒီရဲ့ကြောနဲ့ဆိုရင်ဒီတဲ့ကတော့တိုက်ပြီးမှပတ်ပြီးတယ်ဆိုရင်လူလည်းပေါ်ပေါ်ပါ
He was also given a ticket for improper lane use.
လူကြီးတွေကိုဒီရင်ကျော်မှာမှန်ကန်တဲ့ရင်ကျော်ကိုမမောင်းတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်တိကျတဲ့တော့ဒီခါတဲ့ရပါတယ်
The government is willing to dismiss the civil infraction, the ticket of improper lane use, if he pleads guilty to the hit and run misdemeanor.
အစိုးရအနေနဲ့ဒီတေမအခုဖြစ်တယ်ဒီတိကျသေးတာဒီရင်ကျော်ကိုမှန်ကန်တဲ့ရင်ကျော်မှာမမောင်းဘူးဆိုတဲ့ကိစ္စနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့တိကျကိုခွင့်လို့ရတယ် လူအချိန်မှာဆွေးနွေးလို့ရမယ်ဆိုရင်လူကြီးတွေကအဲ့ဒီကားနဲ့ဟိုတက်နိုင်တာကိုတက်ပြီးမှပေါင်းပြည့်တဲ့ကိုယ်ကိစ္စကိုဝန်ခံလို့ကြည့်နော်အဲ့ဒီဒီမန်ညာဖရက်တော့ဒီလေမကိုဟိုပတ်နိုင်ခွင့်လို့လိုက်ကြ
Mr. Kung, did you discuss that offer with your attorney?
ဝန်ခံနေနဲ့ဝန်ခံရဲ့ရှင်းနေနဲ့အဲ့ဒီကိစ္စကိုတိုင်ပင်ဆွေးနွေးခဲ့သေးသလား
And is that what you want to do today?
အဲ့ဒီကိစ္စကဒီနေ့ဒုက္ခတင်လာ
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
If you plead guilty today and the court accepts your plea, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. ကိုအပြည့်ကြီးရောက်ဝန်ခံလို့ရှိရင်တရားရုံးကဒါကိုလက်ခံပြီးမှတရားခွင်မှာတရားရင်ဆိုင်ရင်သူ့ကြောင့်မလုံအပ်တော့ပါဘူး
Okay.
Okay.
Is it your voluntary choice then to waive your rights to a trial in order to take advantage of the benefit of this bargain with the city?
အဲ့တော့လူကြီးမင်းရဲ့ကိုယ်ပိုင်ထုတ်ချက်တဲ့အရာဒီတရားခွင်မှာရင်ဆိုင်ခဲ့ရမယ့်ကိစ္စအဲ့ဒါကိုပါလာနိုင်ရဲ့အတွက်အခုလူကြီးမင်းရဲ့ရပ်ပိုင်ခွင့်ကြီးတော့ရလိမ့်တဲ့ခိုင်ရတယ်မယူတော့ဘူးလို့သာလူကြီးမင်းရဲ့ကိုယ်ပိုင်ထုတ်ချက်တဲ့အရာပေါ်သူပါ
အခုရတန်မချရရဘူးဒါမဲ့ဟုတ်ကဲ့လို့ပဲပြောလိုက်မယ်
I did not hear you interpreter, but I will answer the question. Yes.
All right. Did anyone threaten you or make you any promises in order to get you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor. No, Tro, Bamam Pio.
No, they did not tell me anything.
All right, sir, to the offense of failing to stop an ID at a property damage accident, hit and run, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I'll plead guilty, Your Honor.
The interpreter did not understand him, so I'm going to ask him to say it again, so that I will understand. If you don't know, then I'm not going to let you.
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်မှားတယ်လို့ပဲပြောလိုက်မယ်
Yes, I will say that I was in the wrong.
All right, sir, what did you do back on April 5th of this year that makes you guilty of this offense?
Era batilu le sura turawe ka učno turawe ka učno ha turawe ka demet sire sura učno mare lo chinde turaw ka kiette sura no mare lo chinde
Because when Victor was there, I think I am.
Was there an accident?
I don't know. Is that true? Not I can take one again.
okay lan ha koilun le sura učno turaw manin nei bo turaw tai ni da
Yeah, I was about
All right, and did you stop and report that to the police at that time?
No, Your Honor. I was panicked, I was scared, and I drove home to my parents. I didn't call police. Maho chano ai ma chano chau de suro chano ingu ka mong piro chano amene appeal tro pio pu chano mong to re ye riu chano form ko le bu.
No, I was afraid at that time, so I drove home to my parents. I did not call the police.
Okay, I find a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. Mr. Oberholzer, do you know if there's restitution being sought in this matter? Mr. Interpreter, I'm asking the attorney if he knows if there's restitution being requested.
No, Your Honor, I do not believe any restitution is being requested at this time on this case.
Is there anything that you would like me to take into consideration before I impose sentence?
Thank you, Your Honor. As Mr. Kung stated, Your Honor, after this accident occurred, he panicked, he was scared. I think this has been a learning lesson for Mr. Kung, and with regard to his education on what the law is when involved in an accident.
Hey.
I believe moving forward, Your Honor, if Mr. Kung is involved in any accident, he will truly stop, exchange the information required with whoever he hit, as well as wait for the police officers, Your Honor.
ကျွန်တော်ကဒီဖတ်အောင်ဘုရားကြီးနဲ့နောက်ဘုရားတို့ရဲ့တက်ဖို့ပြပါလို့ဒီတော့တန်ခါကြီးမှာတော့သူကလည်းဘုရားရဲ့တည်းချက်တွေဘုရားဘုရားရဲ့တည်းချက်တွေနဲ့ဘုရားရဲ့တည်းချက်တွေဆိုလို့ပဲနော်အဲ့ဒါကြီးတော့ဒီမောင်အပတ်ကလည်းရဲတာကောက်တယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်ဒီဖတ်တယ်
Then, Your Honor, I do believe Mr. Kung is a valid licensed driver. And again, I think this has been a great learning experience for him so that he's not to repeat his actions again. We would just ask that you take that into consideration in determining an appropriate sentence here, Your Honor. Thank you.
Di kaya di mo makikita tapos lo ate yang ate contact to tapi mae
Mr. Kung, is there anything that you want to say to me before I determine your sentence?
Mama Masiro, Dame Akuna Akuya interpreter Laura, to know Bagu Matia, Dame, throw Scapio, get no Tia, throw to know Nale Resuro, Yamelotin.
I have nothing to say, although interpreter, I did not hear anything of your interpretation. But when they spoke in English, I understand a little bit of what was being spoken. So I would say, without hearing your interpretation, that I agree.
Mr. Kung, you're having a hard time hearing the interpreter.
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Interpreter, you can stop. You can stop for a minute. Mr. Interpreter, Mr. Kung, I muted you earlier because there's background noise where you are. Is it loud where you are, Mr. Kung?
Not really, Your Honor. I'm at break room. I'm at work and I took a break right now. So
Yeah, because I heard some background noise and I muted you to see if it was on the interpreter's line or yours, and it was on yours. So do you feel like you have understood these proceedings?
can you repeat that again, Your Honor?
Do you feel like you have understood these proceedings?
No, Your Honor.
No, you don't feel like you've understood? I want to make sure that you know what you're doing today, sir. And so if the problems with the hearing the interpreter have left you feeling like you don't understand, I can't accept your plea and we'll have to schedule another date for you to come back.
Your Honor, most of them, I understand most of them, but I just can't have the interpreter voice. Like,
Okay. Well, we can stop using the interpreter, but I want to make sure that you understand what you're doing.
yes, I do. I do understand that.
All right, and so you have entered a guilty plea today. Mr. Interpreter, just sit tight. It sounds like he can't hear you, but I don't want you to disconnect yet.
That's fine, I will hold it.
Mr. Kung, you were driving a car in the city of Kentwood on April 5th,
Yes, Your Honor.
and at that time there was an accident and you didn't stop and report it because you were scared, correct?
I was panicked, I was scared, and I drove home to tell my parents. So, yes,
And you understand that in entering this plea, you will not have a trial of any kind on this matter. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at trial, you could call witnesses to testify on your behalf, and you could ask questions of all of the witnesses that are being brought to say you did this, and you are choosing to waive those rights in order to take advantage of the bargain that the city offered, which was to dismiss this ticket.
So I will just plead guilty because, like, so if I'll just take 6 points. So then I don't have to. I don't think I will have time now. Like next time for court or anything. So.
All right, well, I think you do understand the proceedings, and I think that there is a sufficient factual basis to accept your guilty plea. Your attorney said this was a good learning experience for you. Is there anything else you want me to know about you before I sentence you?
Not really.
You had an OWI back in 2019.
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
What happened with that?
Those time we were at party at friend house, and when I dropped back home, I didn't know that I get drunk, so I hit the side road, and my car out of airbag, and so I got ticket for that one.
Did you go to jail for that or do any probation?
Yes, I did. I did go to jail for one night, and then they released me in the morning, and then I did probation for like a year. I was in probation for a year.
And when were you released from probation? Do you remember when?
Last year, November or December 12th, around November or December.
The end of 2020. Okay.
Yes.
All right. It sounds like to me that you've had some difficulties with driving.
Not really, Your Honor.
Well, you've been in court at least twice on driving related offenses. Sounds like trouble to me.
Yes, it was my fault, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, the law presumes that in a non-serious misdemeanor like this, the appropriate sentence can be one of fines, costs, and community service. I am concerned about you, sir, because I think once this gets sent to the Secretary of State, you're going to lose your license. You already have 6 points on your license from the OWI, from the drinking and driving. And I think this is going to put you over the limit, which then puts you in a position of being, and it's not me taking away your license, it's the Secretary of State. And then you're going to be in a position where you're working right now, but you're going to have to find rides to get to work because you're not going to have a valid license, and you're going to have to make a choice. Am I going to continue to drive and put myself at risk of other driving related charges? Because driving without a license is a misdemeanor too. So I am worried for you, sir. Those are choices that you need to make. Those are things that are coming for you down the road. But for the purposes of today's sentence, I will sentence you to 60 hours of community service. You are to complete that within 9 months. Our probation department will give you a referral. After they do so, you have 2 business days to sign up for your community service and get started. You'll pay fines and costs. I'll total those now. So your fines and costs are $625. I am reserving the matter of restitution. I don't know the circumstances in this. Your attorney says nobody is asking for you to repair the damages, but I will leave that open. If the court is contacted regarding restitution, we might have to reopen this matter. Is your address 5065 Pillar Creek Avenue Southeast?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
What is your phone number?
616-723-6209.
Say the last 4.
6209.
6239
6209.
09.
Yes.
All right, someone from our probation department will reach out to you regarding your community service. That is a final sentence of the court. If you disagree with the court's decision, you can appeal it to the circuit court within 21 days. You have 14 days to ask for the assistance of an attorney to help you. I'm going to place you right now into a breakout room with one of my cashiers so you can make payment or payment arrangements. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, Your Honor. If I take this offer, how long my driver license gonna be suspended?
Well, this offer doesn't suspend your license. I think what's going to happen from looking at a Secretary of State driving record is that, were you aware he had no WI, Kurt?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
And do you agree with me that this will likely put him over the
Yes,
threshold?
it could, Your Honor, yes.
All right, sir, the court is separate from the Secretary of State, and I am not an expert in Secretary of State penalties. I only know that conviction for this offense will put 6 additional points on your license, and you already have 6 on your license. And so if they suspend your license because of that, they will give you a mandatory suspension term, but it's the Secretary of State. I'm not well versed enough to tell you exactly how long that's going to be. I wish I could, but I'm not a lawyer and I don't work for the Secretary of State, and the court is not suspending your license. I just am worried for you, sir. If I were placing you on probation, I would say no driving without a valid license, but I'm not placing you on probation. It remains, if your license isn't valid, you may not drive. So communicate with the Secretary of State to determine what you can and cannot do.
And can I make a payment tomorrow or?
I want you to make a payment today, and then if you need a payment plan to make additional payments, if you can't get it all paid today, you can set that up with my clerk, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and thank you for your patience today. I know that it was a little frustrating with the interpreter. We tried to help. All right, Mr. Interpreter, you're released. Thank you for your assistance today.
All right, thank you for doing our services. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Kung, there should be an invitation on your screen for you to move into a breakout room, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Dawson, I assume that you are gone already, but enjoy your lunch. I'll see you this afternoon.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to confirm you didn't need anything further from me.
Do you speak Burmese?
I do not.
Then I guess not. No.
Okay.
Mr. Kung, do you see the invitation? I want to make sure you successfully connect with my cashier. Down at the bottom of your screen, there should be maybe 3 dots that you can click, and it says breakout room.
Breakout room.
Join breakout room.
Should I click leave for?
Yeah, hit that button that says join breakout room.
Okay.
Oh, I think he got it. No? All right, because once you get to the breakout room, you'll be connected to my cashier and she can take your payment. If you can't, sir, then you can call the 62B District Court. If for whatever reason you can't get connected to the breakout room, you can call the 62B District Court, or you can go online and set up a payment plan.